Steven's Birthday, the second episode of Steven Mom for the 75th episode of Steven Universe overall. There will be spoilers for this episode in the review, just keeping you guys informed on that. And after the literal bomb of an episode that was yesterday's episode, The Answer, this episode seems kind of nothing, which is a shame because it's actually a really good, really cute, really sweet episode, and I really liked it. But coming off of the high that was yesterday's episode and going into what looks like some very exciting episodes coming in the next few days, I feel like this episode is going to go down in the annals of history as being really underwhelming, being the weak link in the Steven bomb, which, as I said, is a shame because it is a really good episode. It's really cute and really sweet and has a lot of really great character moments in it. This takes place a few hours after The Answer, actually, after Garnet was telling her story to Steven. They are now setting up for Steven's birthday party. Connie and Steven's dad show up at the barn. Peridot's still working because she doesn't understand the whole human thing. And there is a little bit of conflict in this episode. The primary conflict in this episode comes from the fact that, physically speaking, Steven hasn't really changed all that much since he was like 8 years old. And so Connie is worried that Steven's not going to be able to grow up with her. We already know Steven can age, of course, because we saw so many birthdays and we saw him psychologically age himself up using the magic of his gemstone and the power of shapeshifting. So it's not like he can't age, it's just that he doesn't seem to age at the same rate as a normal person. And of course, Steven overhears Connie saying this, he gets all worked up about it, and he decides, after seeing Amethyst stretch herself up to put up a banner, that he's literally going to use his shape-shifting powers to stretch out his body and seem older. Just a tad bit older. And I was kind of hoping that it would be less him literally changing the shape of his body and more him, learning how to control his age, learning how to control that little sub-power that he got in so many birthdays. But that really isn't the case here. However, we do learn a little bit here about shape-shifting, that if a gem tries to increase their size too much beyond their initial size, their original reformed size that they get when they first form into their body, for too long, it can cause them harm. And Amethyst is the one telling us, as obviously Amethyst is the most experienced about shape-shifting, so she'd be the one that would be the voice of the writers here. And I kind of wonder what the harm would be to actual gems, because all that happens to Steven is, getting a little ahead of myself, we'll get to that in a minute. There's some really cute scenes between Steven and Connie. Connie likes that Steven's taller than her now, and it's really sweet. She gives him some really loving looks, and she lays her head on his chest when they're together. It was really sweet and really cute. But the best moments between them didn't come until later. After Steven kind of overloads himself by holding this form for too long, he actually de-ages and turns back into an infant. And the gems, of course, have no idea how to deal with a baby. They barely have any idea how to deal with Steven at his current age when he's actually, pretty freaking mature relative to other people his age, obviously, because he's been through so much more. And Garnet tries, and it's absolutely adorable, this scene. She does a little face for him, and it doesn't work. And then she says, I can't remember what the exact line is, but it was something along the lines of, my powers are useless against an infant. It was just the cutest scene, or so I thought, until we get to the scene next of Connie and Greg and Amethyst, but you don't realize Amethyst is there at first, driving Steven somewhere. I don't even know where they were going. I guess back to the car wash or something. Because now that he's a baby again, Greg is going to take over raising him for as long as he needs to, I guess. And Connie's with him, and maybe they were driving Connie home at this point, but then she decided she didn't want to go home. I don't know. But the point is, they're in the car with baby Steven, and Connie comes to the realization that she doesn't care how old he is. She cares enough about him that she's just willing to be there for him and be kind of whatever he needs her to be for really as long as she needs to be. And little baby Steven hears this. And now that he knows that Connie isn't as hung up on him aging along with her as she could be, he turns back into his regular size. The next morning, and they have another cute little moment. Steven and Connie in this episode is just a string of cute moments. And then, you see he's growing a little bit of a facial hair. He is actually getting older. It's just not as consistently as a regular human would, and he quite possibly ages more slowly than a regular human. But it's very interesting because this is actually a legitimate change and update to the character, which, yeah, I'm totally for that. Especially now that we know that this show does actually have a set timetable where each season corresponds roughly with 1 year. Eventually, Steven is going to have to change in appearance. He's going to have to look older in order for the show's continuity to actually make physical sense. But overall, we didn't really learn a whole lot in this episode. It was mostly just cute character moments and the little bits about shape-shifting that we could only have speculated up to this point. We didn't get much of Peridot here. She's still working on the drill as they're having the birthday party because, like I said, she doesn't get it. But still, overall, a really sweet, nice, enjoyable episode that I'm really glad that I saw. And I kind of get the feeling that this is our moment of respite during the Steven Bomb. I get the feeling that it's just going to be like in-your-face, crazy stuff for the rest of the week. So hang on, guys. This could be a rough ride. But guys, if you have seen this episode, what did you think about it? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.